So, welcome to the class in Proper. I'm so excited that you are here. And trust me, at the end of this class, which is going to be a 2 days class, you are going to discover what has been secretly keeping you poor. You're going to determine the habits that is going to either make you keep staying poor or become wealthy. How you can start and build your financial freedom step by step. And trust me, by the end of this class, 2 days class, you can have a very special gift for you if you get to the day two of the class. Like I said, this class is very important to me, and I'm excited that you are in class because this is going to change your perspective forever. Now, you might be asking, why 2 days class, or why are we starting from the 360 financial education class, right? It's because the uh, when you don't have a foundation about the thing, you could just go about doing a certain thing, thinking you're doing it the right way, but you're actually doing it the wrong way. So we need to set a foundation, because most times when people talk about, or when people think about investment, they're just thinking about a get rich quick scheme. So we need to lay a proper foundation. And these things are not taught in our schools, these things are not taught where we work. So we need to lay this foundation. A 360 financial education class. Let's uproot that thing that you have been doing for the past years that you actually didn't know. Honestly, you didn't know that was keeping you poor. Welcome to class. If you are excited to be here, I'm more than excited to even have you here. And trust me, it's going to be worth your time. So let's get into it. Why you are still broke. Now, there are two ways to get out of what you're dealing with today, or get out of poverty. One of it is to discover what the rich people are doing, how they became wealthy, and start doing it. Number two is discover what poor people are doing and avoid that habit at all costs. In this section of the class, we're going to be talking about one thing that is available for both the poor and the rich. And we're going to see what the poor do with it and what the rich do with it, and the outcome it has given to the both of them, which is what we call cash flow. I am certain that you must have heard about that cash is king. Yes, cash is king, and it's available for both the poor and for the rich. So we're through this section. Let's talk about cash flow. Cash flow means how money enters and how money exits from your life. So let's talk about what we're going to get from this. At the end of this section, you will see what's keeping you poor, why high income does not equate wealth, because so many people think that, oh, because someone is earning a million naira money, it means that the person is wealthy. Most times it is actually wrong, and we're going to see how, and then what you can change. Remember, I said we are trying to imitate, find out what the rich people do, and we're going to copy them, and that is the way you can go from where you are currently and get into your desired financial goal. So, what is cash flow? Cash flow is the money that comes into your accounts, be it from your business, be it from your salary, be it from your investment. It is cash flow. As long as money is coming into your account, that is what we call cash flow. Now, what keeps people poor? Again, let me say that cash flow, your cash flow could be 50,000 naira, your cash flow could be 500,000, your cash flow could be million naira, but it is what you do with that cash flow that determines the outcome of your life. So stay with me. And I need you to be open minded. I need you to, be free. We are here to learn, relearn, unlearn some things that we thought was normal before now. So let's get into it. Take, for instance, you're a salary earner and you're earning 100,000 naira, and someone else is earning 200,000 naira. Now, the person who is earning 100,000 naira could be a very conservative person who, first of all, knows how much that is going into every specific expenses that he or she does. Why the person who is earning 200,000 naira might have little or no record of how his or her money goes out. He knows how it comes in. Now, let's talk about what poor people do. Now, poor people only use their cash flow, which is the inflow of their money, in a certain manner, which is okay, we've spoken about inflow. First, poor people only depend on one source of income, mostly salary, mostly or just a business. Now, you must have heard that salary can never make you wealthy. Why that is not totally true, to some extent, it is true. To some extent, it is true because you just having one source of income, which is your salary, and all you do with it is spend, 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 spend. You can never become wealthy that way. This is what the poor people do. Poor people, whenever they think about money that is coming to them, the first thing that is coming to their mind is the expenses that money is going to feed. It's either rent, it's either food, it's either transportation, it's either family members' problem. It's just bills and bills and bills and bills. Now think of it. How do you want that money to actually grow? How do you want that money to actually produce something else? How do you want that money to make more money for you? So this is one of the reasons why poor people keep staying poor. Again, I say having 100,000 naira salary, having a 200,000, 1 million naira salary does not even equate to wealth, because someone who earns 100,000 naira can be very meticulous with their expenses. Take, for instance, I remember when I started working, which was 8 years ago, right? I got to a point where I started in 100,000 naira. But before then, I had started an investment, in an investment that I had opened, had an investment that I had opened, and I knew that every month a dedicated 10,000 naira was going into that investment. So no matter what was happening, 10,000 naira maybe sound to you as chicken change. Yes, it is, it was, and it is still chicken change till now. But this is what that thing did for me. It built my investment mood. Was I seeing so much result? Not really. Was I seeing encouraging interest? Not really. But what was I doing? It was building my investment stamina. I could invest. I could discipline myself to bring out 10,000 naira every month from a single 100,000 naira and invest it into something that I knew was going to pay. Today, I do more than that because I have grown from 100,000 naira salary and have started seeing returns. That little seed that looked like it was nothing has spring forth a system that pays a setting of my bills. I don't even bother about that bills because I know that I'm going to pay for it from a certain investment that I'm investing. But what if? What if I saw that 100,000 naira as nothing? Like, oh, and let me tell you something, right? That keeps so many people poor is that they never think that what they have is enough. I want you to marinate on that. Poor people never think that what they have is enough. So if you keep thinking that what you have is enough, your 50,000 naira salary is not enough, trust me, 500,000 naira salary will never be enough. It is a thing of the mindset. So it is not a thing of how much you are actually in. So let's not dwell much on this. Let's talk about cash flow. Cash flow could come from your salary, it could come from your business, it could come from your side hustle. Now that is inflow. Cash outflow could be that you are just using this money to pay bills. You're just using it to live a certain type of lifestyle. You're just using it for emergencies. The issue again, like I would say, it is not what you earn, it is what you do with the money that you earn. This is the silence trap, right? You always feel like what you have is not enough. So before it comes, most persons, even before the money comes, they already have bills on bills that are waiting for that money. And all of it, you don't even have a budget for an investment. You don't have even have a budget to help that money grow from where it is to a higher amount. Trust me. Let's take for example an Uber driver. Yes, and then I have had interactions with so many Uber drivers. They tell you that, at the end of the month, they could be making, anyways, when the business was really, really profitable, where they didn't have so many persons and fuel price was down. I hear some of them tell you that in 1 week, they have 100K saved, like in 1 week. As at that time, I don't know what it is now. So let's take, for instance, this person, just to be on normal side, earns 200K from this Uber business, right? And he or she is very conservative. Why I'm saying he or she is because I've also seen women, female Uber drivers, right? So this is not actually related to only the men. So he or she is very, very conservative, have plans, and is putting this money into the right venture. Yes, and again, I've spoken to so many of them that even have a just system. Has to tell you that this person has a financial in as much as I don't encourage a just system, which because of the high risks involved, but you see that this person is living a lifestyle. And because of the community that I have built, I have also come across people who are earning up to 1 million naira. And when I engage them in some conversation and asking them, so what have you been doing? You realize that they didn't have any plan. There was no, they were absolutely doing nothing with the 1 million naira that they were earning. All to do was collect the salary, spend it, and wait till for next month. Collect the salary, spend it, and wait for the end of the month again. Trust me, I have spoken to people because of the work I do. I have an investment community. I also do one-on-one consultation to help people set up their investment portfolio. I have heard a lot. Like people you think that are actually wealthy because of the lifestyle that they are living. Trust me, they are broke in the real assets. They are really, really. Why? Because they don't have a financial structure for their money. And I pray this is not you. And if this is you, anyways, I'm glad that you are in this class because at the end of this class, you're going to see how you can come out of this silent trap and start putting your money into what is going to work for you. So let's get into it. There are three classes of people that money comes into, that cash flows into. And please, I want you again to be very open minded. I want you by yourself, for yourself, to judge yourself. If the way you are living your life today with the money that you are getting is the right way to live life. So you're going to decide if you are in the poor class, the middle class, or you're in the wealthy class. Are you ready for this? So let's get into it. And trust me, if I mention anything that looks like you, please don't run away. We are only trying to rewire our mind to unlearn the things that we have learned over time, probably from our parents, from the environment that we grew up in. So it is not your fault. I just want you to know that the habit you've been exhibiting is not your fault. Now let's talk about poor class. The poor class, one symptom that goes across the podcast is that their money comes from one stream. I'm sure you've heard several times that you should have different sources of income. Yes, if you've heard it, they're right and it is true. You cannot build wealth from just a source of income. When I mean a source of income, even if that source of income is making millions, you need to find a system that you can plug that money into, that can produce more without your sweat, without your effort, without your presence. So, if all the money you're making is just from one source, and the only way it goes out is either you are paying children's school fees, you are buying food for the house, you are you are fueling your car, you are sending money to your family members, you are the only messiah in the whole family that is taking care of all the family members. Trust me, my brother, you are actually sometimes at the end of the month, you have nothing left. And money comes in, money goes. Trust me, you are heading to a financial doom. Why do I say financial doom? You wonder how people work for several years of their life, dedicated, working most especially in the 9 to 5, and when they retire, you're wondering, so what next? And most times you see some of them go back to the village and in in struggle to keep living, they go into farming or they even start a certain kind of business, and you're wondering why, what was this man doing with his youthful age? Was it that he wasn't making money? No, he was making money, but he didn't have the right financial knowledge, and he also didn't have, they were actually making money. But this was their cycle: work, spend, work, spend, work, spend, work, spend. There was nothing that was being sewn into a system that was meant to generate extra income. There was nothing that was planted on the ground. Let me tell you, your salary is a seed and a blessing. Nobody should tell you that your salary was paid for you to forget all those sort of bullshit. Nobody should deceive you, and nobody should tell you that your salary cannot make you wealthy. What they miss from there is that salary alone cannot make you wealthy. But if you're a salary owner today, trust me, you are sitting on a good mine. Did you know that if you start investing just 20,000 naira every month in a system that will consistently give you 20% for the next 50 years, you're going to retire to over 3 billion naira. Quick reality check. See, I'm not capping because I have an investment community and I've done this for the past 5 years. I'm telling you the truth that I have seen people who we have sat down together, I've consulted for people, we've sat down together, I've asked them, so what is your goal? When do you want to retire? And then we built an investment portfolio for them. Nothing so fancy, nothing so complicated. We just built an investment portfolio and we projected if in 40 years, how much you're going to retire to, how much you need to start investing in right now to have that life that you are living. So if you're in your 20s or your 30s, you are in the right time of your life. And this is the time where you need to decide whether you will end up rich or whether you will end up poor. Whether after your service in the 9 to 5, you retire back to the village and start to laugh or struggle with old men who don't know what you know, or you will decide that today, by the time you retire from that work, you are stepping into a life where you want to explore the world, you want to travel, you want to be the best grandparent, you want to live inheritance for your children. You want to be the best granddad, that your best grandmother, that your children want to come around because you are wealthy, because you decided that today that you are actively involved in that 9 to 5 and you have gotten the right knowledge from a class like this. You made up your mind because information is not enough. You need to make up the mind. This is what you want to do for your life. And I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that you are in this class. And I'm so glad that you're going to take a decision that will change not just your life alone, but the life of your generation. You need to stop just being a slave, because it is only slaves that only work and spend. All to do as a slave is to work, eat, bathe, sleep, eat, work, eat, bathe. It's a cycle. They are not meant to have assets. You are not a slave. The money that you're working for today should be able to be put into systems that can help you make more money to get you out of the work end cycle. If you can afford data to be online, but you don't have assets, then you are stuck. Let's get to the real point where we need to tell ourselves the truth, right? This is reality check 101. If you can buy data every time to be online, but you cannot invest in an income generating asset, you are doing yourself a great harm. I don't care how old you are. If you are 20 years old and you are in this class, it means that you're using data. You are always online, you saw this ad and you clicked and you are here. That means you can start, because there are assets that are even less than 5,000 naira that you can start with. You may not be seeing the changes immediately, but what it does for you is that it's going to build your investment muscles so that the days when you have so much, you will still be able to invest. So if this sounds like you where you are just working and spending, working and spending, working and spending, working and spending, I'm glad you're in this class, because this has stopped and it will stop at the end of this. Now, why am I showing you all of this? Is because I need you to wake up from financial sleep and slumber. I need you to wake up from your financial sleep and slumber. I need you to reprogram your mind. If your parents didn't teach you about money, I need you to take it upon yourself to be that person who will change things in your family. I need this class to propel you to action. I need it to inspire you to break money for a poor financial habit. I also need you to be that person that will start building generational wealth in your family. Like I said, it doesn't matter how much that you're earning. You could be earning 50,000 naira, but if you have a poor financial habit, you will also have the same financial habit when you start earning 500 or 1 million or 2 million naira. And if you have a good financial habit when you even earn 50,000 naira per month, you will have that same habit to be able to increase your investment when you are even earning 5 million naira. Are you excited that you're in this class? I'm really excited, and I hope your mind is being renewed. You are changing how you think. Every time you want to buy data, ask yourself, have I invested in anything this month? That is the way to go. Have I sent my money to work where I'm not present? Have I put any seed on the ground that will start germinating for me? Because your salary, your money is a seed and it's not meant to be all eaten. Some are meant to be sown. Some are meant to be sown. And I know some of you might be saying, now, no be who don't chop go so. I need you to tell that spirit that leave me in the name of Jesus, because that is the mentality of poor people. They keep saying the same thing over and over again. You see somebody, how the person was last year is the way they are this year, the way they will be in next 2 years, and you're wondering, why are things not changing? It is not that things are not changing for them. It is the mindset that they have built. And that mindset is what we call strongholds. I know some of you, when you go to church and they're praying, you're shouting strongholds, they lead people. Some strongholds are actually not an external force. They are the forces that the mindset that have been imbibed in you, that you have picked subconsciously while you were growing up. And like I said, it is not your fault. It could be your parents, it could be society. And also, let's blame it on the school system. They never taught us financial literacy. And we have never asked yourself why. Why is it that financial literacy is not taught in the school? We were taught a system that will help us get work and start making money. But nobody taught us, when you start making money, this is how you multiply this money. It is because the system is designed to keep you on the apron strings of the government. What do I mean by that? You are a 9 to 5 worker. Oh, you are being made to believe that you have pension. And then you give 85 years of your life, right, to this service system, and you believe that pension is working for you. Let me shock you. I recently got my pension alerts from my pension house, and I was looking at this thing and I got so angry. Why? Because as at the time I started my investment journey, right, my company was already paying, the first company I worked was already paying pension for me. Tell me why the amount I have invested by myself is like over 100% than what this pension house is giving me as the amount that is profit on my investments, because they are using your money for other things. Nobody actually cares about you. Let me tell you, if nobody has told you, nobody actually cares about you. That is why you need to learn this thing for yourself and do it for yourself. Let the one that your company or your organization is doing for you, let it be an add-on. But get the knowledge where you're able to do this thing by yourself, where you can control things. If a particular investment is not working, you realign align it into something else, you repurpose, which is what I'm going to be teaching you in the stock and investment class. I hope you're excited, because I'm excited to show you what I've been doing for the past 5 years and the result that I have gotten. So now, poverty is a system. It is not bad luck. And as long as you continue following the principle of the system, you will get to the same result. You will work for 35 years, begin to rely on pension. Sometimes some people even die trying to get the pension, and some people even get a minute of 30,000 naira monthly from a pension of that they've worked for 35 years. The system about pension is so annoying, and this is not me, trying to say bad about it. It's a good system because some persons can actually not save. So it's a good system to ensure that they are being saved for. But trust me, you can do better. So some of you, one of the bad character that you have picked, poverty mentality you have picked, is that you are meant to meet everybody's needs. This is reality check. Let me give you a backstory. When I started working, right, because I felt, oh, I'm now a big girl and I'm actually the last born of my family. And so no much responsibility. And I allow that to slip into my subconscious mind, that every time people call me for something, be it old friends, be it old classmates, be it even extended family, I just give. Because, and then I built this mindset in them that, oh, waiting, should they use her money to? She's the last born and she's already working. Waiting, should they use their money to? And it got to a point where sometimes before God and mine, I'm telling you the honest truth, before my salary comes, I have already written down 5 people who I need to solve their problems. And at some point I realized that 3 of them were constant constant beggars. I don't want to use the word beggars, I'm sorry, but constant problems or needs. You cannot build wealth that way, sweethearts. You cannot build wealth trying to please everybody. you are going to get dream. And at the end of your lifespan, you're asking yourself, these same people will ask you, what have you been doing with your money? So it's time to wake up and tell yourself and build a system where you know that you can always invest and invest right. So let's continue. Let's continue. So if you're that person who has always met everybody's problems, you're thinking you're the best thing since sliced bread in the family, probably you're a firstborn son or firstborn daughter, I need you to have a rethink. It is good to help people, but have a structure. Every month, bring out a certain amount for family needs. And where you exhaust that amount, every other needs will be met with or without you. I hope that could just be a reality check for someone. So let's continue. Now, let's talk about this salary illusion, right? Because most of us in the 9 to 5, we just have this illusion that, oh, if I don't invest this month, right, I will do it next month. And the next month comes and you tell yourself, I will do it in the upper month. And that upper month comes before you know 1 year is gone, 2 years is gone, 3 years is gone. Have you ever asked yourself, what if you walk into the office and they tell you that, we're sorry, we have to cut down some things, our expenses, running costs is more than what we expected, so we need to let some people go. What if, God forbid, but what if that becomes a story? Have you also thought at any time, what if, again, like we say in Asia, God forbid, what if you wake up one day and the legs that has been carrying you to walk about, to rush to the office, to wake up, rush to the bedroom, rush to your dressing room, you get to dress, rush out, rush to the office, rush into a meeting, lunchtime, go for lunch, come back, face the traffic, and get back to your family. You have a cozy evening with your just what if that strength is touch shut. Now let me tell you a story. A particular uncle of mine earning big, living large, and this happened recently. And um, the current president of the United States of America cut short NGO funds, or reduce NGO funds, and people were laid off work without notice. They woke up in the morning, went to their various offices, and just one mail change their lives. We're told to go home, given a 3 months period that they will be called back, and some of them were never called back. So this one time uncle who had the lights going for him and seemed like everything was okay, we didn't know that he didn't have assets built up. Oh, and let me see that it wasn't long he started this, so the big funding. So the money was coming, and I'm sure in his head he was like, all the supper where I don't supper. May they see me now say I don't arrive. So he was living large. This is a story of so many persons. Just few months after that loss of job, he didn't have an emergency fund. He didn't have any system that was bringing in money. And at this point, it's back to the season where he's asking people for help. And nobody is, some people are already avoiding his contact, his calls. Why? Because you think people are happy for you that you are earning big today. You really think people are that nice, right? Wait until you get to the point where you cannot afford for yourself. So it's time for you to think for yourself, to build systems for yourself, to build assets for yourself. Let's continue. Let's not dwell on this. Now, this is the modern day poverty that is ravishing our society. You see people that are not even making so much money. They want to live in luxurious apartments. They want to go on vacation, buy designers cars, designers clothes, do BBL. This is a wealth trap. Can I tell you something? Wealthy people, though they enjoy these things, but they enjoy it from free money that comes in from their assets and not their income. Again, remember, from the beginning of this class, I told you there are two ways to become wealthy. One is to know what the wealthy people do and to copy it. Two is to know what makes people poor, what the poor people have done all their life, and avoid it. You see this particular one, this life of trying to impress people, that life will keep you poor. You see, that life is going to keep you poor. You see someone who just started earning 500,000 naira. He wants to move to a luxury apartment. He wants people to know that he has arrived. Before you know, he has bought a flashy car. Before you know, vacations up and down. This is what social media has presented to us, and we are gradually buying it. You see young people who are just in their 20s, 25, you're trying to live a flashy life of a woman who is in her 40s, who has paid the dues. You see her carrying Birkin bags, and you you're getting slipping into depression because you don't have Birkin bags. You see, the same woman who have worked, who has paid her dues, who probably in this her 40s, she is now enjoying money from her assets. Let me tell you something that you don't know, right? I had I had a client who wanted to travel for vacation. And she said, "Financial bestie, what can I do? This is the time I want to travel. Is there a way we can put in money somewhere so that I could, get the money I want to travel with?" And yeah, and I said, "Yes, ma." So we looked at some assets, and we looked at the one that could give her the amount she's looking at. And she pulled in funds and she put it in the, we had a structure for the period of time, and then withdrew. And she traveled for her vacation. Please listen again, but with free money. The one that you are following Yahoo boys to get is what a wise woman, is what wise people are using the money. So when you see these things, you get into depression. You are trying to compare your life with people on Instagram, not knowing where they are coming from, not knowing the dues that they have paid. And most young people are slipping into depression these days just because of this flashy lifestyle. Let me tell you, it is a trap. One thing you need to learn as a young person is contentment, and also to tell yourself that you are not in competition with anybody. I need you to beat your chest and tell yourself, I, yes, Gifts Onika, I am not in competition with anybody. Yes, say that to yourself. You are not in competition to anybody. It is not your duty to make anyone see you in a certain way. What you owe yourself is to love up on yourself, invest in yourself, either by taking new courses, learning new things, finding new ways to make money at this level of your life. You don't owe anybody. So don't let anyone pressure you. Don't let this modern way of slavery or poverty to put you in the box. You don't need to impress anybody. Even recently, right? If Davido had his wedding with his wife and he bought her a wedding ring, in true essence, if you calculate the worth of that ring, it is less than 1% of his wealth. But you, Chinedu, that girl that you're trying to impress, you want to go and remove the whole money that you have saved to buy her a ring so that oh my god. Mm, you are gonna cry. You are gonna cry. I'm glad you're in this class because let this be a mindset renewal, right? That you don't have to impress anybody. And let me tell you what that life does for you. So by the time, even if you're earning 100,000 naira today, if you live a very simple life, make sure you are comfortable, people around you are comfortable, you invest properly. By the time you are earning a million naira, because it is not in your nature to show that you're chilling with the big boys, you have a simple life where you are investing more because you're not in it in any hurry to show people that has been your lifestyle. You're just living a simple life. You are planting. Let this season be your planting season. Let this season be the season where you are planting heavily. Let this season be the season where you are sowing. You are going sowing. Is it how does the Bible even put it? But in the long run, they will come back rejoicing. You are sowing in tears, but they will come back rejoicing because you know that you are building an empire of wealth. You are building an empire of wealth generating income for you, yourself, Your family, you're the one breaking poverty and coming out of poverty and making it be that it showing breaking that thing that has kept everyone poor. That's poverty habit, that poverty mindset, that poverty lifestyle that has kept people in your family poor. You've gotten the knowledge and you know your way out. This is how you can come out from poverty. Learning what the poor do and stopping it immediately. Now let's look at what the rich do. Yes, I'm excited that we've gotten to this part. I'm excited that your mind has expanded. I'm excited that you're seeing the things that make people poor. But let's talk about what make the wealthy, the 1% of the 1% wealthy. What make them wealthy? So, welcome to income generating assets. So, what are income generating assets? These are the systems, investments that pay you without your daily efforts. We have stocks, we have bonds, we have real estate, intellectual properties. The rich buy assets that makes money while they sleep. I'm not talking of get rich quick scheme. This is not get rich quick scheme. I'm talking about systems that have been tested and trusted. One of it is stocks, one of it is bonds, real estate, intellectual properties. Some of you, I have an affiliate group where people are making good money. All they did is set up a system. They are not the one that created the courses that they are selling. So most of them are my courses, and they are just making money. So what do the wealthy do? Let's go back to that. We talked about how the poor people spend their cash flow. So what do rich people do? When cash flow comes to wealthy people, again, wealth is about your mindset and not the amount that you earn. So you can't be earning 100,000 or 200 or 500,000 today, but you have a wealthy mindset because you are putting that money into an asset generating income. So what do the wealthy people do? Cash flow. Cash flows into them, into their accounts. And they put a part of it, some for bills at the starting point, right? Some for bills, and some are planted as assets generating or income, or are planted into income generating assets, which is what you can do today. As soon as your salary comes in, let it be part of your budget that I must invest a certain amount. So we have real estate, we have bonds, we have stocks. You might be saying, "Oh, real estate is so much for you too." But there are people who can invest in real estate. If you can, please, even if that land is in the interior part of anywhere in a developed state, buy it because it's not for the now. It's for tomorrow. A land that you buy for 1.5 today, probably they're on sales. You buy for 1.5 today, you can resell it later. I have a story of one of my mentors, Pastor Matthew Ashimune, who is also a real estate mogul. Um, you hear stories of how he bought lands that are close to the present where the Dangote refinery is today, right? Those lands were bought for a very cheap price, and some of them over 30 years, bought over 20 years, bought over 30 years, and today they are selling those lands for millions. They're selling those lands. So if you have money to invest in real estate, please do. Then we have bonds, we have stocks. So in the next class, we're going to be talking about stocks because this is one system that both the rich and the poor can play in. Again, like I said, if you decide that today you will start behaving like the rich, in a few years to come, you will get to that point. So let's go to the next point, which is what I've talked about. How the rich build wealth. They channel their earnings into assets. Assets pays their bills. Their money works harder than they do. So while you're buying iPhones, you're buying the latest Apple, these people are putting their money to work for them. And then over time, this asset gives them freedom while you're tired and you're still working at 50, their assets is already taking care of all of their bills. And this is what I want you to get to. That is where I want you to get to. So over the time, how can you start building wealth today? You choose an asset, You use part of your current income, no matter how small, you stay consistent, and that asset begins to multiply, and at some point it will even be greater than your salary because of what we call compound interest. If you invest in a system and the interest begins to compound, you notice that if you invested 100,000 naira at the end for 1 year, and it's giving you an interest of 20%, you have at the end of the year, you have 120,000 naira, and it is reinvested. So you're no longer investing just 100,000, you're not investing 120,000 naira. That also compounds in the upper year, and that is how real wealth is built. So asset multiplies your money faster than your salary. In the next class, I'll be showing you how you can start investing in stocks. A very simple guide. I'm sorry I wrote smart women's guide. Sorry. It's actually for everyone. You can start investing in stocks. It's very simple. I will teach you where to put your money. You will understand how the stock market works and how you can start using it to fund your lifestyle. Thank you so much for staying with me. Don't miss the next class, which is going to be a practical step-by-step guide. So if you don't have money to go into real estate, which is already for the big boys, buy bonds, commercial papers, some of those investments are for big people, but you can start from the stock market, because even with 1,000 naira, there are stocks that are less than 1,000 naira. You can buy 1,000 units of it. The 5,000 naira you're using to recharge airtime today can actually build wealth for you. Thank you very much, and I hope this was impactful. Please do leave a review under this video, and while we meet in the next class. Thank you.